NS-33 is finally set to launch from our West Texas site after a weather delay earlier this month, and we've got our incredible crew, self-named Solstice 33, excited for this adventure across the Kármán line. I'm Tabitha Lipkin.
And I'm Alice Watts.
And this is New Shepard's 13th human flight. I hope you at home are as excited as we are for a great West Texas launch day. Once again, I'm Tabitha Lipkin, and I am joined today by Alice Watts. The weather looking much better than it was last week. In fact, I actually got caught in a monsoon when I went out to Van Horn just a couple of days ago, but today it's finally clearing up, and it's awesome to have you with me, Alice.
Thanks so much, Tabitha. It's great to be here. This is our 13th human flight and 33rd mission overall for New Shepard. And like so many that came before today, it is another great day to fly to space.
Yeah, you can see it right behind us. That is out in West Texas. And New Shepard, of course, offers everyone, young and old, life-changing experiences. We have successfully flown the youngest and oldest astronauts across the Kármán line. It really shifts their perspective about Earth's fragility and why it needs to be preserved. This distinguished crew includes Leland, who likes to go by Lee Larson, Allie Kuehner, her husband Carl Kuehner, Freddie Rescigno Jr., Owolabi Salis, and James, who also likes to go by Jim, Sitkin. And we're going to have more on our crew of NS-33 coming up shortly. Right now, we're taking a look out at the rocket. You can see the final preparations are underway and a great crew photo there. Yeah, you can even see Leland, and known for his famous colored hair, looking blue, looking excited. Blue for a good Blue Origin NS-33 launch with Solstice 33. And that is a live look out in West Texas. Our rocket is ready to go. Our astronauts are getting settled in, and they're kind of doing their final checks before we actually head over to Capcom. That will be happening shortly. But in this moment, we just want to kind of let you sit with the rocket, see where we're at right now, and take it all in as the launch pad becomes alive. And Alice, we actually have some footage from earlier this morning as our Astros left the astronaut training center. They got into those Rivians and they made their way out to the launch pad. I love these drone shots. It really gives you a perspective of the culmination of this moment and really what goes into it.
Yeah, it's incredible. This is just a few minutes ago. We are getting situated in the capsule right now, but earlier they drove the Rivians on the road to space. They got out and took their crew photo, a tradition that we do for every flight. And then they got in the elevator and got up to the top of that tower.
Yeah.
Getting ready for their flight day.
And it's a really an exciting moment for them because, again, we did have to scrub last just over a week ago due to a weather delay. But today, they're back in action out in West Texas, and they're ready to rock. Now, I am understanding that we are getting ready to hear those comms checks, and that's from Capcom, which is short for Capsule Communicator. So we're going to toss it back over to the rocket and watch some of this footage as our astronauts get ready to take off and cross the Kármán line. And soon we will be hearing from Rob Freelowski, who is our Capcom today, and a crew member 7.
Welcome back to the RSS Kármán line. Let's get things started with some comm checks. Remember to turn your head to the right as you press the push to talk. Astronaut Jim, comm check.
I need to allow the spirit of the flight day for launch. I'm moving upward. Over and out.
Copy that. Astronaut Buzzy Lee, comm check.
I'm here and looking forward to everything that's going well.
Copy that. Astronaut Owolabi Salis, comm check. Copy. Astronaut Junebug, comm check.
Control astronaut Junebug. That's the last player.
Copy that. Astronaut Kuehner, comm check.
Blue Control, Astronaut Kuehner, loud and clear.
Copy. And Astronaut Hunter, Blue Control, comm check.
Blue Control, Astronaut Hunter, all clear.
Copy. All comm checks. Kármán line, Blue Control, we are at T-minus 22 minutes and counting. Crew member 7 is getting ready to close the hatch.
Yeah, we just heard our astronauts receive those confirmations from our crew member 7. All good to go. You know, we have 2 Kuehners who are together in the rocket right now, and so you heard Carl's call was Hunter. So we also know that we have viewers at home who are thinking, I want to do that. I know it's at the very, very top of my bucket list as well, but here is the coolest thing. You can absolutely be a part of one of our next New Shepard launches, getting to see this big, beautiful planet we call Earth from across the Kármán line. chills every time I see that video. Gosh, it's such an exciting experience. But now it's really time to meet the crew of NS-33, starting in seat number 1.
Yes, in seat number 1, we have Jim Sitkin. Now, Jim practiced law in California for 4 decades before his retirement. Jim is also a volunteer for Global NGO, which facilitates meetings with governments and community leaders in Central Europe and Sub-Saharan Africa. He's a lifelong adventurer. Jim has explored 7 continents and has dreamt of going to space since he was a child, growing up watching our favorite Star Trek.
That's right. In seat number 2, we have to talk about Leland Larson. He is a philanthropist and former CEO. With his blue hair, back in 1997, he co-founded the Larson Legacy, a philanthropic foundation focused on supporting hundreds of progressive nonprofits domestically and internationally. Now, earlier in his career, get this, Lee was a teacher who worked in the Army counseling soldiers on their educational aspirations, and he served as a delegate to the Constitutional Convention of 1968, which wrote the present-day Constitution of Hawaii.
In seat number 3, we have Owolabi Salis. Owolabi is an attorney and a financial consultant. He's the author of Equitocracy, which presents a vision for democracy that prioritizes equality among diverse groups. Owolabi is also a key member of the Soul Maker Ministry, which preaches the diverse nature of the universe. He tells us that he's dedicating today's mission to victims of discrimination and civil rights violations.
Let's talk about seat number 4. We have Freddie Rescigno Jr. Freddie is an Italian-American entrepreneur, business owner, and competitive golfer. He is the president and CEO of Commodity Cables, a lifelong golfer who has dreamt of space since he was a child. And by the way, as a golfer, he's competed as an amateur at the state and national levels for 20 years. He is the father of 3 boys who I know are very excited for him today.
In seat number 5, we have Allie Kuehner. Allie is an environmentalist, and she is dedicated to conservationists with a passion for protecting natural ecosystems and wildlife for all the future generations. She serves on the board of Nature is Nonpartisan, which is a nonprofit organization advocating for bipartisan solutions to environmental challenges.
And in seat number 6, her husband Carl Kuehner. He serves as the chairman of Building and Land Technology, also known as BLT. And Alice, you know I love a good BLT. Deeply committed to conservation, Carl champions efforts to sustain, restore, and enhance wildlife and natural habitats, sustainable food systems, and environmental restoration projects through business strategy and philanthropic initiatives. Alice, what an incredible crew. So many conservationists and environmentalists aboard, and I know that getting back in that rocket today means so much to them.
Yes, and as you have seen on the bottom right hand of your screen, our crew has closed the hatch and are leaving the tower. Always a great sight. We are just around 16 and a half minutes before flight, so we are getting excited here on the desk.
We certainly are, and we also have to talk about the patch. I love this patch, and some key things to look out for on the NS-33 patch are the following.
Yeah, let's take a look. So we have some symbols around the patch. Up top is the lotus flower. Now that symbolizes Salis's spiritual journey today. A school bus signifies Leland's family businesses. And those leaves, they symbolize Allie and Carl's environmental stewardship.
The scales of justice represent Jim's work in employment law. The moon symbolizes Freddie's passion for archaeological discoveries. And each symbol is connected to the crew capsule by a thin green line representing each crew member's unique journey. Great patch there. All right, let's also revisit the previous human flights for New Shepard. This flight today will be our 33rd overall flight and our 13th human flight. There have been 12, that's right, 12 previous flights where we have carried crews of astronauts to space, and on every flight we hear incredible reactions from our passengers. That is because the journey to space and back to Earth has such a profound effect on them.
Capsule.
Go.
So we want to take a moment to talk about building the road to space for the benefit of Earth. As you just saw, New Shepard offers astronauts a life-changing shift in perspective. To date, New Shepard, by the way, has flown 64 humans above the Kármán line. That's 9.1% of all people above the Kármán line. And after this mission, the total number of people flown on New Shepard will be 70. 4 people, by the way, Alice, have flown twice. Now, what's cool is New Shepard allows everyday people just like these astronauts to visit space. We are now operating 2 human-rated vehicles to better meet customer demand. Safety, of course, is our highest value, and we have built redundancy into every safety system. So let's actually discuss how New Shepard fits into Blue Origin's broader mission and vision.
Now, New Shepard is just the start of Blue Origin's journey. It's a glimpse at what lies ahead in our roadmap. It's not the ultimate aim. Beyond what's happening here in West Texas today, there are exciting new developments like New Glenn, which has already successfully flown its first mission earlier this year, and it is ushering in a new era for our large orbital vehicles.
That's right.
You can see it on the screen here. This is a replay of our first launch. What an incredible moment that was for the team.
I know everyone at Blue Origin so excited to see that milestone. And of course, New Glenn launched the Blue Ring Pathfinder. Blue Ring is a very versatile in-space system, providing various services for equipment and satellites in space.
Yeah, Blue Ring is capable of relocating objects and space hardware, acting as a communication hub between Earth and the Moon, and augmenting satellite functions. Overall, it is an exciting new class of vehicle, making space even more accessible and practical for companies, governments, and other entities.
It's an amazing addition to our toolkit and really starts to fill out that picture of a robust space infrastructure that will make space more accessible and more usable for all humans.
Yeah, I'm particularly excited about its potential for cost-effective science missions. Now, we all know that New Shepard has flown many payload science missions over the years, and these are all exciting developments, but there's one more piece of the puzzle.
Yes, very soon we are going to the south pole of the moon with the 8-meter-tall Blue Moon Mark I lander that happens to be taller than the Apollo lunar module. If you take a look at your screen, you can see Mark I on the left and Mark II on the right. For us, this vehicle continues as a Pathfinder as we continue to make significant progress within our lunar permanence team. This initiative is focused on establishing a lasting human presence on the moon, creating foundations for humanity to settle permanently.
Yeah, so those are the pieces of the puzzle that, consider our tagline, for the benefit of Earth. This sums up our mission. Every program and every vehicle that we develop aims to harness space resources for Earth's advantage. Our work focuses on accessing vast resources, energy, rare materials, and making it possible to relocate heavy industries, especially those that could be detrimental to Earth, like manufacturing and energy production, relocate those into space.
Yeah, and these, of course, are substantial ambitions, right? That's the work at hand for us here at Blue. Now, historically, fewer than 700 people have traveled to space globally. However, to significantly impact Earth using space, we've got to expand our vision.
Yep, and that is why we're invested in developing New Shepard and building our legacy in human spaceflight. With the success of New Glenn's first mission, we are scaling our services and creating a comprehensive ecosystem of programs. This approach embodies the road to space, developing reusable vehicles and various programs for space exploration, orbital missions, and lunar ventures, enabling future generations to leverage space for Earth like never before.
That's right. And with New Glenn's success, we've embarked on a new chapter in realizing this vision. So if you at home are watching and you're like, you guys just talked about a really big mission and vision, you're right. That's what we do here at Blue Origin. And the short version of it is that New Shepard essentially is a vehicle that is helping us prepare for more launches with New Glenn. Now, we're going to toss it back over to the rocket as we're about T-minus 8:30 from liftoff, because soon we will be hearing that go, no-go pull.
TM recovery. Engineering. Go, green board. CC recovery flight, need your go for terminal count and launch. CC recovery flight, channel 1. CC recovery flight.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is NS-33, New Shepard's 13th human flight, and we are under 7 minutes to launch. We are currently waiting to hear that go, no-go poll from the launch. I'm starting to hear whispers of it. Let's toss it over and listen in.
Go. Ground.
Go.
Safety.
Go.
Capcom.
Go.
Engineering. Go. Inco.
Go.
This is the flight director. New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence the terminal count.
Local flight.
Controllers drop. UHF voice.
That poll is always an exciting moment. We got go for terminal count. A great day here at Fly.
Yeah, it certainly is. I know the Astros buckled in ready to go, but I also want to take a moment and talk about the flight profile of New Shepard.
So New Shepard is a suborbital flight, and it's a fantastic way to experience space. You can take a look on your screen. That is the flight profile. It's a simple parabolic flight that is straight up and straight back down. That flight path spans about 12 minutes from launch to landing.
The New Shepard rocket has a vertical takeoff and vertical landing architecture. So let's dive in just a little deeper on the flight profile.
7, 6.
New Shepard.
Now, let's also talk about the vehicle that is carrying our astronauts today. The capsule carries the name RSS Kármán Line above the hatch.
An RSS means reusable spaceship. The capsule in today's flight has already flown to space twice. Today will be the third time. We designed these capsules so they can be flown 25 times each, and that's really the vision for all of our hardware, reusability.
99% of New Shepard's dry mass is reused. We're talking everything from the crew capsule and the booster to the engines and the parachutes. This booster, by the way, has flown 4 times.
Reusability is so important to us here at Blue. Not only does it reduce the cost of space travel, it also significantly reduces waste. And we're continuing to develop New Shepard as a program. With the next generation vehicles, we'll be improving our cadence and our vehicle life. These vehicles are actually currently being built in Washington. Shout out to that team.
Absolutely. We love that team. And as you can see, we are about T-minus 3 minutes to lift off. So in this moment, we're going to toss it back over to the rocket as the launch pad becomes alive.
Command engine controller, ready to start. Auto sequence start. Pressing propellant tanks to flight pressures. Retracting the sunshade and capsule access bridge. T-minus 1 minute, 50 seconds.
Right now, the vehicle is going through a series of final vehicle checks, also known as bit checks, especially because we are under the 90-second mark here. Great shot from our drones of New Shepard on the launch pad.
Now we are at just about 1 minute until flight. You can see our vehicle on the pad awaiting liftoff. We're doing some final checks. We're always keeping an eye on pressures and temperatures in the propellant tanks. Both of those need to stay in the green zone. You can see on the bottom right all of the friends and family of our astronauts. They're just as excited and ready for today's flight.
All right, at about 50 seconds, T-minus 50 seconds to lift off, we are currently in a hold. But again, they are doing those final checks. We saw the friends and family out there ready for this moment that has been long awaited. Great shots of New Shepard out on the pad. Again, T-minus 50 seconds. That hold, by the way, I just got confirmation has been clear. The countdown is back on. And we're also keeping an eye right now on the pressure and temperature and the propellant tanks. Both, by the way, need to stay in the green zones of these variables.
Switched on onboard helium.
Looks like we have entered another hold.
Dust termination.
And it has been lifted.
A quick one.
The T-clock has continued to count down.
Back in a short hold. It's like a little roller coaster right before liftoff. And we're going to hand it back over to Mission Control. Take a listen in and launch this rocket.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, command to start, 2, 1, 0. Mission.
And New Shepard has cleared the tower. Beautiful shot.
Starting roll program.
NS-33, we are on our way.
30 seconds.
Now you can note on the left-hand side of your screen, if you want to follow along, you can. You can note the speed, the altitude, and all of the major milestones coming up here in just a moment. At this point, BE-3 is at 100% power level. We are gaining speed and altitude very quickly.
Now, despite the cloud
Max
cover,
Q,
we are
maximum
tracking
dynamic
New
pressure.
Shepard. Great shot from the rocket looking back down at West Texas.
Mach 1 vehicle is supersonic.
We've just passed 30,000 feet and we are supersonic.
Engine back up to full throttle.
We just passed max
Chamber
Q.
pressure
You heard
looking
it
good.
there. Engine is back up to full throttle. We are on our way to space.
Yeah, the astronauts here are experiencing about 3 Gs.
Passing 50,000
We
feet.
are just over a minute and a half into flight. Beautiful shot. So you're going to notice we're going to stay on this picture. This is, again, the camera that is on New Shepard, and that is because our cameras on the ground can't quite pierce all the way through the cloud cover that we're experiencing out in West Texas. But again, you can follow along with New Shepard's journey if you take a
Begin
look at
throttle
our
down.
telemetry,
Stand by,
which is
Nico.
on the left-hand side of your screen.
Miko
We're
confirmed.
about to experience and see Miko. Oh, I just heard.
Miko confirmed.
Standby
Main engine
separation.
cutoff has been confirmed.
Separation confirmed.
Separation is confirmed. That is amazing. Now you can see on your left-hand side, we've got 2 bar charts now. We've got the left-hand side, which is the tracking the booster, and the right-hand side is now tracking the capsule.
That's right. Our astronauts are experiencing about 0 Gs here. Not about, they are experiencing 0 Gs, a moment they have been waiting for quite a long time, exacerbated by about a week, but they are finally headed across that Kármán line.
They are. And as you'll note, the booster does have a rotation to it. We intentionally spin the booster and the capsule during flight so the astronauts can get a 360 view. They get to go around a couple times. It's slow and steady,
Passing
but they
the
get the
Kármán line.
full view of everything out their window.
That's so great. And these windows, by the way, bigger than a 737.
Much bigger.
Yeah, by like a lot.
And we have officially passed the Kármán line. We're still ascending the booster and the capsule.
And they reach apogee at about the exact same time.
That is correct. Yep. Yes, they do. We'll see that here in just a moment.
Capsule apogee.
And there it is, apogee for both the booster and the capsule. They are now both returning to Earth.
And what will happen is the booster is going to return first about 2 miles from where we launched on the launch pad, and it's going to return faster because it's so much more aerodynamic.
That's right. Yep, the capsule will re-enter a little
4
bit
minutes,
slower,
30 seconds into
but
flight.
that is perfect timing to watch both the booster and the capsule land.
Yeah, we're just over 4 minutes and 30 seconds into flight. Again, this is our camera from our booster looking back
Booster
down
descending
on
past
West Texas.
325,000 feet.
Yep, the booster has descended past 325,000 feet. Our best camera at this moment in time because of that cloud cover out west.
Capsule body rates looking good.
The astronauts still enjoying that 0 G. They're getting their views out the window, taking photos, posing, maybe doing some 0 G flips. Who knows?
I certainly would.
Astronauts
I also have to
returning
say this
seats.
view to me is very calming. The astronauts getting buckled back in shortly. Yeah, but a great
Booster
shot
descent
there from
nominal.
our booster. I just got word in my ear that we don't have any audio of our astronauts at this moment in time, but we have heard they're having a great time up there, as I certainly would be.
Confirmed.
Yeah,
Booster
no.
forward fin deploy.
No kidding.
The The booster descending past 150,000 feet.
The booster just opening some of its control surfaces to help it navigate back down. Those all work in tandem.
Yeah, the ring fin, the wedge fins, the aft fins at the
Astronauts
base.
experiencing maximum ascent Gs.
Those Gs the astronauts are feeling are pushing them into their seat as they hit that thick atmosphere coming back into Earth. They feel about 5 Gs for just a moment, and then it settles back to 1 G very quickly. So they should be cool and comfortable right about now.
Yeah. About to go back into the cloud line for our booster. I'm loving this shot from the booster. There we go. Now you can see the desert.
And the landing pad.
Yeah, that's a great shot of it. Here we go. Our long-range camera's able
And there's the sonic boom.
to capture the booster on its descent. Engine relight.
Engine restart. Landing leg deployed. Booster descent nominal.
And touchdown. We have a beautiful touchdown of the New Shepard booster. Welcome home, NS-33 booster.
Welcome home, New
It's
Shepard
great to
booster.
see you there on the landing pad.
That is right. And thank you for providing, by the way, such a great shot of the entire flight. It is great. And it almost looks like it's dead on center, too.
Yeah, hit the target. Now we will stand by to take a look at the capsule here in just a
Capsule
minute.
descending
But
past
as we wait,
15,000 feet.
the booster is going through its auto safing process, which happens immediately upon landing. Now that is to get the booster ready for our ground crew to come and pick her up in a little bit and take her back home.
Standby drill.
As we see, the capsule has come through the clouds in a moment. Oh my goodness, what a shot.
A great shot. Yeah, we should be
Capsule
seeing the
drill
drogues here
deployment
shortly.
confirmed.
There they are. And the parachutes just after that. Now the capsule is descending, of course, slower than the booster because of its shape, that like teardrop shape. And there go the parachutes,
Capsule
essential
main
in
parachute
providing that
deployment
gentle
confirmed.
touchdown for the capsule. And it also has a retro thrust system at the base of the capsule, something you'll want to watch out for, which will make that final touchdown even smoother.
Beautiful, beautiful reefed parachutes here. What a gorgeous sight to see. Blue skies all of a sudden.
I know.
Incredible. The weather changes so drastically in Texas. Amazing, amazing shot here of the capsule as it descends smoothly back
Capsule
down
landing
to
time
Earth.
within
You know, Alice, we
expected
have a
range.
saying in Texas, if you don't like the weather, just wait an hour. And in this moment, our astronauts are soaking up those
Capsule
final
descending
moments
past
with their crew before they're
1,300
back
feet.
here on Earth. And right now, that capsule is slowing down to just a couple of miles per hour.
TDS enabled.
Yeah, those parachutes take all the energy out. We're at 17 miles an hour, and then we'll go down to 1, 2 with the retro thrust system. Look at that. Beautiful landing site for the capsule.
Oh, yeah. Looks like it's going to be close to one of the roads, which is nice. Easy to get out there. There's a great shot, actually, of our crew recovery system. Yeah, they're on their way. They're looking at the parachutes. That's cool. You can see that from inside.
Stand
What
by
a
touchdown.
cool shot of
Stand
the
by
booster and the capsule in one shot. That really just shows you how,
Approaching
you know,
retro
New Shepard
thrust
is
bucket.
so reusable and, you know, just an incredible vehicle. And touchdown!
Touchdown.
Capsule touchdown
Touchdown.
confirmed.
Congratulations.
Welcome home, New Shepard
Welcome back
33,
to Earth.
Solstice 33.
Get started with some
What
status
an
check.
incredible flight today.
Yes,
Auto
that
safety
is
start.
so
Welcome home,
great to
NS-33.
see. We should be getting a great drone shot there. There it is on the edge of the screen. We can hear a little bit of our
Copy that,
astronauts.
astronaut
I'm
Lee.
going to listen in for a second.
Status check, astronaut Lee.
So it's always great to see such an easy touchdown for our New Shepard crew. Now, our capsule recovery team, like we said, they're currently driving out in
Astronaut
a
Owolabi
convoy to
status
meet
check.
the astronauts. They're going to safe the capsule and get ready to open that hatch, which essentially means making everything, like you said, Alice, is ready to go. Making sure it's all ready to go.
That is correct.
Doing a status check right now with our Astros, welcoming them back. Now, this is going to take just a moment, and while it does that, I want to take a moment to also talk about our nonprofit Club for the Future, which is sending postcards to space and back on New Shepard from space enthusiasts and partners, including the Tag Museum of Flight, Parkcrest Elementary in Burnaby, which is in British Columbia. And of course, we're always so thrilled for being able to support Club for the Future and inspire as well as mobilize the next generation to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
And now, like we've done on all of our past missions, what a cool tradition it is, but our astronauts created postcards, decorated them, wrote some messages, and flew them to space today on their mission. Every time we fly astronauts, we do this, and here they are. You can see all the astronauts making their postcards. I don't know if we can quite read that, but
yeah,
some of them are quite the artists as well.
Yeah, we have artists, we have poetry, we have a little bit of everything, and I think it brings in the inner child in all of us when we all, I feel like so many of us had dreams of being an astronaut when we were younger and getting to live that out. But here's the coolest thing about the postcards. You can do this at home as well. Anyone can do this. We also have a digital option and a drawing tool that you can use in order to make your own. You can go to draw.clubforfuture.org. Again, that's draw.clubforfuture.org, and you can be sending a postcard to space. So you notice we've also put in a small box in the right-hand corner of your screen our cameras, which are capturing the recovery efforts for our capsule, which has made a nice landing right back here in West Texas. But we also want to dive in on a little bit more of the mission of Club for the Future and how it inspires and mobilizes the next generation to pursue careers in STEAM. Again, we have welcomed back NS-33, the crew capsule there. A great shot as our recovery team is going out to safe the capsule and welcome Solstice 33 back to West Texas. And as we've talked about so much before, Alice, Club for the Future is such a great way to ensure that the great work that we do at Blue continues for future generations. It is so important that we inspire young people to get ready to join the workforce, not just here at Blue, but in all kinds of future STEM careers, so that can build on top of the work that we're doing here today, building the road to space.
Yeah, Jeff has always said this is, this generation's job to build the road to space so that future generations can unleash their creativity. And Tabitha, every Blue Origin employee is also an ambassador for Club for the Future. I know you're doing a Club for the Future event soon, and we all have been involved in some sort of outreach to the schools and communities where we came from, where we live today. So yeah, we are all actively invested in that idea of inspiring the next generation.
I was so excited when I got reached out to talk about Club for the Future and to help inspire, because when you look at the acronym for STEAM, I'm the A in STEAM. I'm the arts part of that, the communications part that works in the space field, which is so cool. And Alice, you're on the engineering side of that, which is really exciting.
We've got two of them covered.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a beautiful shot there. You can see the green, actually, from so much rain that happened out in West Texas. We've probably noticed how much we love hyping up our launch site 1 out near Van Horn, Texas.
Yeah, Tabitha, you've been there. I've been there a bunch. Van Horn is just one of those little great towns that you might not know about.
And I'm actually heading out there this afternoon. Yes, that's right, after launch, and I cannot wait to get there. Boots on the ground. It is just such a great place to go hiking, to maybe grab a drink down at the El Cap Hotel or a steak at Cattle Co. So many great parts.
Yes, it's a fantastic little town, and we love their support and how much Blue Origin is a part of that town. Now let's take a look out west to learn a little bit more about what Van Horn is
all about.
Two hours east of El Paso sits Van Horn, population 2,000. This small town lies on an isolated edge in the high desert of West Texas, with epic views in every direction. Breathtaking sunsets, a seemingly endless horizon, hiking trails, untouched lands, and natural beauty. It's our home away from home, and when we're here, we get to take part in the local culture. And on launch days, locals get a glimpse of New Shepard as it blasts towards the stars. This is the home of New Shepard. 20 miles north of Van Horn's Main Street, Blue Origin occupies a majestic valley as far as the eye can see. Texas has always been at the forefront of human space exploration. It was home to mission control for the Apollo moon landings, and it's where astronauts have trained for decades. Now, this rich history is being passed to a new generation of astronauts. West Texas has been the site of every New Shepard mission to date. And it's where the journey to space begins.
Yeah, and I just love, I love the community of Van Horn, and shout out to them who have supported so many of our New Shepard launches. Again, this is a live look at NS-33, the crew capsule. We are currently doing our crew recovery. We've got a great drone shot there. Our astronauts are having their final moments together as a team, and shortly they will be egressing.
Yeah, you can see our ground crew making their way around the capsule, getting confirmation from all the astronauts, and safing the vehicle. That includes things like electrically grounding it, checking on all the parachutes, making sure that those are safe, no one's going to trip over anything, making sure the way is clear for the astronauts to egress here shortly.
Yeah, I cannot imagine what is going through their minds, and I am so excited to eventually hear from our astronauts. They always, come out and they talk to their friends and their family and communities, later about everything that's happened, and they go out into the world and talk about how the overview effect has really had an impact on them, and they hope to impact other people as well. It's such a great mission with everything that we do here at Blue Origin and with our new Shepard launches. You can see the crew just really doing those final checks. Any moment now, we could be seeing those astronauts egress. And a great shot out in West Texas from our drones. It's cleared up quite a bit. The weather feels so different than it did just an hour ago.
It does, yeah. Those beautiful Guadalupe Mountains in the back there. Tabitha, I know you just went and hiked those last week, didn't you?
I did. In the pouring rain, I made it to the summit of Guadalupe Mountains National Park. That's up at El Cap, and that was 8,751 feet in the rain. And you didn't do it if you don't brag about it on air, right? I think that's the rule.
It's the highest point in Texas, is that right?
It is the highest point in Texas, and it's a great national park to visit. $10, you get 7 days. You can visit many parts of that national park, and that's just one small part of it. They also have sand dunes and salt flats that are great to see as well. Again, this is a drone shot taking a look at NS-33 crew capsule, made its way back to West Texas, and any moment we will see our happy astronauts egressing.
We like to give our astronauts just a couple minutes to collect themselves, to chat amongst themselves. They've become a crew over the last few days, especially with our weather delays. You can be sure that they've been on their text thread together, just getting to know each other even more. And this is the last moment before we open the hatch and let them back out, and they get to, savor that moment, savor those memories, really lock in what they just experienced and hold that forever.
Yeah, and I'm really excited actually to hear from Allie and Carl. They are a couple who went up together, and I just can't imagine what an experience would be like to go up with your partner and see the curvature of Earth from space from across the Kármán line and come back together. I think that's the ultimate vacation.
Couple goals.
Couple goals, yeah. Hashtag couple goals. Again, any moment we could be seeing our astronauts egress from the capsule here. We will be able to talk to some of those astronauts. You will be able to hear those interviews, watch those interviews on YouTube later today. That's always my favorite thing to do as soon as they're posted, is just be able to deep dive into their thoughts and to get a little insight into what this experience was like for them.
And I know I'm not alone in wanting to see the capsule footage from the inside. That is so exciting to see after a mission, to see what the crew got up to and what they had to say. They always are, have something profound to say during their experience. So we'll be releasing that as always shortly after the mission, and we can all get a glimpse of what it's like to go to space.
I actually got to experience a virtual reality launch that happens over at the Kennedy Space Center with NASA, and I put on the virtual reality goggles and I got strapped in, and it was so cool, and it felt so profound being kind of like a New Shepard astronaut for a moment. It was really quite amazing, something you guys at home should check out if you have the opportunity to. But while we're working on crew capsule recovery, I want to take a moment and revisit a previous New Shepard flight and the story of one of our very special New Shepard astronauts, Allie Kuehner.
It was truly like the most miraculous experience. For me, the only feeling that felt similar to me in my life was when I had my children. When you have a child, it's not until you give birth and you have that child in your hands that you're like, oh my gosh, I know you, I love you. And then when I saw the planet from that perspective, it was like I was seeing it for the first time. Oh my God, this is space. We're in space right now. This experience has taught me that no dream is actually impossible. And Blue Origin is the reason I was able to achieve this dream that I've had for so long. My name is Allie Kuehner. I'm an MIT engineer turned Emmy-nominated science TV show host.
putting boots back on the ground after crossing the Kármán line, joining a very exclusive club. Today, 70 people that New Shepard has flown across the Kármán line. 4 have flown twice.
That's incredible. It really is incredible statistics. I mean, and this is just in a matter of a couple years we've done this.
Yeah.
Welcome home, Solstice 33. It's great to see you guys.
Woo.
Thrilled to have flown these 6 incredible people to space today.
Yeah, and learning so much about their story, knowing, you know, Carl and Allie and their work that they do as environmentalists and conservationists, and just so much more that they'll be able to share now that they've crossed the Kármán line. Yeah. Our drones really getting overtime today with these beautiful shots of the crew capsule. It has just been such a good day to fly for Solstice 33 for our 13th human flight, Alice. A great Sunday.
It has been. It's been a great launch day, and you can see all the crew back getting hugs and cheers, and those beautiful blue parachutes ready to be packed up for the next New Shepard mission.
And I know you at home are excited to hear from the astronauts, as am I. So take a look at our social media. We'll be releasing on YouTube and maybe on our Instagram, a little teaser there for some of the interviews with our astronauts, and you'll be able to hear more about their experience, as well as the video from inside the capsule. And Alice, I think this is our moment to tell our viewers goodbye.